Anyways, the reason the Earth has life is because he's in the Goldilocks zone.
If the universe dealt out a cosmic lottery, Earth won the jackpot. That's because our planet is like a Goldilocks world, where everything is just right for life as we know it. We've covered a lot of ground, so let's recap everything that Earth needs to be alive. First, we need to be in a solar system that's conducive to life. Earth formed at a time when the universe was chemically enriched, but not choked with heavy elements. Second, we need to be in a special place within our solar system. Earth is in the Goldilocks zone, where there's enough heat for liquid water, but it's also close enough to Jupiter to benefit from its gravitational protection. Third, we need to have a magnetic field. Earth is just far enough from the sun to retain its protective magnetic shield. Fourth, we need to have water. Comets brought precious ice to Earth early in its history, which condensed into our planet's oceans. And finally, we need to have life itself, which shapes the planet just as much as it's shaped by it. So why does Earth have so much life? It's not one miracle. It's a cascade of them. We have a cozy temperature range, a protective atmosphere, and an abundance of liquid water. But those conditions are actually only part of the story. Our solar system and galaxy, along with the universe itself, had to be in a unique state for Earth to thrive. So let us zoom out and find out what other cosmic coincidences made Earth the only place we know of that's teeming with life. For thousands of years, people wondered if Earth was special, whether we occupied the center of the universe. In fact, our solar system lies in a pretty average region of the Milky Way called the habitable zone. But even that's a bit of a misnomer because the distance between stars is so great. Earth is basically the only place we can live. So while we're not in the middle of the universe, we are definitely in a very special place. But why did life start on Earth and not somewhere else? For starters, Earth formed at just the right time. It came into existence around 4.5 billion years ago when the universe was about 13.8 billion years old. And that may not seem like a big deal, but it totally is. You see, Earth formed during a narrow window of time when the universe had enough heavy elements, but not too many. Right after the Big Bang, there were only hydrogen and helium. Stars formed out of this primordial soup and started to fuse elements heavier than hydrogen. But the first stars burned out so quickly that they didn't have a chance to make much of anything more complicated than helium. So when Earth formed 4.5 billion years ago, there weren't many heavy elements floating around. But wait a few billion more years, and the universe would have become a graveyard of dead stars. They would have spewed out so many heavy elements that Earth couldn't have formed at all. So Earth happened to come together at a time when the universe was chemically enriched, but not completely choked. This is especially true for the ingredients that are vital for life as we know it. Earth formed just as the universe's supply of carbon, oxygen, and iron was peaking. These elements are critical for living things. Carbon is the backbone of organic molecules, including the famous ones that carry our genetic code. Oxygen makes up a whopping 65% of Earth's mass and is essential for respiration. And iron plays a key role in transporting oxygen throughout our bodies. These ingredients became available after generations of stars lived and died, creating the conditions for our sun and our solar system to form and Earth to come into existence. And if Earth had formed even a billion years before or after this window, we probably wouldn't exist. So that's one cosmic coincidence down. But we're not done yet. Our timing is also good within our own solar system. Earth exists in the habitable zone, or the Goldilocks zone, which is the range of distances from a star where temperatures are just right for liquid water to exist. But since no one's selling real estate in outer space, the exact location of that habitable zone doesn't matter as much as the fact that Earth has a gas giant named Jupiter, as its closest stellar neighbor. This massive planet orbits so close to Earth that its colossal gravity has a huge impact on our lives. First, Jupiter's gravity protects us from dangerous space rocks. Every year, Earth gets bombarded by tens of thousands of asteroids and comets, which can be big trouble for life. Even a relatively small impact could theoretically cause another mass extinction, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. And it turns out Jupiter is deflecting many of these interstellar interlopers away from Earth. Thanks to its gravity, the last time Earth got whacked by a large asteroid was 29 million years ago, long after the solar system had cooled off and complex life had already taken hold. Had Jupiter not been there to protect us, Earth could have been sterilized much earlier, and Jupiter may have also played a role in helping Earth get its water. Scientists think some of the ice in our planet's ancient oceans came from comets. But Earth wasn't always a hospitable place. In the early days, its surface was a molten hellscape. Comets are mostly made of ice, dust, and rock, and they tend to fly through space with a tail pointed toward the sun. So if Earth had formed closer to Jupiter, which is very hot, it's unlikely that icy comets would have been able to stick around long enough to deliver their frozen goods. But since Jupiter was farther away, Earth had a better shot at maintaining a liquid water ocean, which is another thing that sets our planet apart. Earth has a lot of water, thanks to all that comet action in the early solar system. But a lot of rocky worlds around our sun have oceans too. What's unusual about Earth is that its water has remained stable for billions of years. That's because Venus and Mars are too hot and cold, respectively, to keep water in liquid form. Although Venus is similar to Earth in size and mass, it is a scorching 370 degrees Celsius because it's closer to the sun and has a thick atmosphere that traps heat. As for Mars, it's too small to hold on to an atmosphere. The little bit of gas it does have creates a thin, chilly environment with an average temperature of -63 degrees. So although other planets have oceans, they aren't around long enough to play host to life as we know it. Meanwhile, Earth is in the Goldilocks zone and protected by its own magnetic field, which is another cosmic coincidence. Magnetic fields are generated by the rotation of a planet and its molten core, which happens to be true for both Earth and Mercury. But Mercury is too close to the sun for that magnetic field to protect it from being stripped away by solar winds. Earth, on the other hand, sits just far enough away to retain its magnetic shield, which protects the biosphere from dangerous radiation. Not only that, but Earth's magnetic field also deflects charged particles from the solar wind, which helps our atmosphere stay in place. And again, if Earth were any farther from the sun, our atmosphere would dissipate into space over billions of years. But because Earth is right on the edge of the habitable zone, we get to enjoy the benefits of a protective atmosphere. Taken together, these factors created the perfect conditions for life to emerge and thrive on Earth. But life didn't just take advantage of these circumstances, it shaped them too. When microbes arrived on Earth, they weren't passive passengers. They became planetary engineers. Photosynthetic organisms known as cyanobacteria pumped oxygen into the atmosphere, raising the amount of breathable air from less than 1% to 21%. Over the next 2 billion years, this oxygen gradually transformed Earth's atmosphere and paved the way for larger, more complex life forms to evolve. In other words, life didn't just adapt to the conditions on Earth. It restructured the entire planet, turning it into a feedback loop. The gases plants release, the water cycle, and even the soil we walk on are all shaped by living things. And life has been doing this for billions of years. Because of these effects, Earth is truly a masterpiece of chance and chemistry, a once-in-a-galaxy story of survival. Perfect timing, cosmic shields, oceans from the stars, and life itself reshaping the world. To be honest, the fact that we're here to ponder these questions at all is a miracle. Thanks for watching this episode.